at some point we are going to have to do a whole show about how good this show sounds.
Everybody, welcome to Downballot. We usually do this on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, but my video server was broken, and so I had to fix it. And so I had to, if I'd like to have a co-host, well, we had to put it off. We had to put it off till I fixed the video server, which, by the way, anyone can use, especially now that it works. It's at eplex.live. It's running Video Ninja. Anyway, I'm producer Dave. You can find me on Blue Sky at Plex-Dave, and we are also on the Upscrolled, and I just have one for Echoplex. That's at eplex. Uh-oh. I wonder what's going on. I don't have any. Well, it's not you. It's me. It's definitely me.
Hold on.
Oh, there we go. I got it. All right.
There we go. Hey everybody. You definitely, I mean, you don't need a co-host necessarily. I think you do just fine on your own, but if you want if you want to take a break to like grab something to drink, or like, do a vape, or just, whatever, have a moment. It's always good to have a co-host to blather on while you're doing something else. But anyway, this is the Councilman. We're really excited to be back on Friday night for 1 week only, our old stomping grounds. You can find me on Blue Sky at PJ Allen TWO. That's PJ Allen 2 on the, and then really happy to be over, I think, 108 followers now. So thank you to everyone. Really, I'm trying to blow past that 100K mark very soon.
I'm creeping up. I'm creeping up on like 10K on there.
Nice, a little influencer action, man. You can start monetizing that shit sooner or later.
Absolutely not. No. They'll probably nuke my profile. Like when I had like 25,000 or something as Plex_Dave, and then I called Jacob Wall a stupid twink, and it nuked my account.
And you just can't say what all the things we used to be able to say and get away with it these days. Everyone's watching. But where you won't find me is at the Kaylani show at City Hall tonight. You won't find me signing up for Matt Mahan's Mahan HQ Blue Sky feed. But you will find me here talking mad smack about Mayor Ed 209, which we're going to get into tonight. And you'll certainly find me keeping tabs at all the local politics and elections, because we're going to have a big year here in San Jose and elsewhere, between our local elections, our ballot measures. We've got the governor's race. We've got the all sorts of shit popping off. So stay tuned to the 69th best podcast in California, according to some dude, and we'll bring it all to you.
So this first story, I don't know. I think I called this as soon as we started talking about the governor's race.
I think we called this before Downballot was even a show, frankly.
Like before we even knew who Matt Mahan was, we knew like that motherfucker's running for governor.
Right. The race has been crying out to be run. The lane has been crying out for someone to fill it. And finally, it looks like after months and months of consternation on this show and the good wife and I and producer Dave's part, it looks like things are actually coming together, and the inevitable has happened. So we're going to find out more about it from our local news outlet. I think ABC is going to have this story, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
We were there on his first day in office in 2023.
Good, I'm ready to get to work.
And we were there as he announced his next steps.
I know we can do better.
San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan has officially entered the race for governor of California. He told me last week this move could be coming, saying the current candidates did not have the right vision to move the state forward. Mahan has early support, including from his predecessor, former San Jose Mayor and current Congressman Sam Liccardo.
His leadership here in San Jose has been extraordinary. I think he is going to bring a refreshing emphasis on accountability and on focusing on the key issues that Californians care most about.
Like public safety, homelessness, and affordability. San Jose's Vice Mayor Pam Foley says Mahan can take the successes he's had here and carry them statewide.
To have someone who's been...
Wait, what successes?
He is in San Jose, in the state, running the...
I'm sorry, is this a news hit or a commercial for Matt Mahan's campaign? Excuse me, did he pay for this?
It may have. I mean, he has the kind of money where he could buy ABC7, I suppose. So just from selling his company to Pinterest, the company that did nothing, by the way.
Well, that's great, because Pinterest doesn't seem to be doing anything anymore either.
Government, that's
right.
His focus, his energy. I'm all in for Matt.
Although Mahan has some high-profile supporters, residents, and community advocates are worried about unfinished business here in San Jose after less than one term as mayor.
He ran for city council, stayed 2 years, ran for mayor. He's only 2 years mayor, and now he's going for governor. And then after 2 years of governor, he'll go for president in 2 years.
Oh shit! Fucking this is my dude. Dude. Does this guy want to be on a podcast with us?
I think he'd be down. I'm not sure. It's a popular name in San Jose in political circles. I don't know if he's related to the consultant Vic Angeloni or others with that name. But yeah, no, I'm sure he'd be down if we reached out to him.
This motherfucker sounds like me.
Yeah, we can figure out safe for San Jose. We can find them online. I'm sure we can invite him on.
what I'm thinking.
He's right. He's right.
Rise, but some residents ask, what is there to show for? Many have been critical about his handling of the unhoused in the city, citing a lack of equal distribution of interim housing. And
He just walks into a hotel room. He's like, "Oh, people live like this."
across the city.
He hasn't changed anything. He hasn't fixed the system. He's just warehoused unhoused people until the end of World Cup, and then what?
Council member Bien Dewan reacted as many others may have today. He just wants the best for San Jose and the state.
I want a governor that can fight for all of us Californian here and also build relationship not only within California but also in the federal level.
Like many voters, he's not yet sure which candidate will deliver.
Oh my God, dude. Oh, so instead of down ballot last on Tuesday, because you were, my server was unavailable essentially. We watched the debate.
Oh, very nice. I thought we could do like a special on that, but what did you think?
I wished you would have been there because, fucking, first of all, it was so weird because the only two people that even went after each other at all were Steve Hilton and Matt Mahan.
Yeah, I got reports. I was also predisposed during the debate itself, so I ended up getting reports from the good wife and my mom, actually, the Mrs. Council member or senior council member. Apparently he was doing well in the live tracking poll among Democrats. Apparently, Swallowwell wasn't there, and staff abuser Katie Porter wasn't there. They had other things to do, but he was polling the best amongst the Democrats in the field there. And it's not, that's not terribly surprising, right? I think we've talked about the lane that he has.
Also, Steve Hilton hella stepped in it, dude. He got fucking wrecked by Matt Mahan. So he was like talking, he was like, "Oh, you're going to solve the homeless problem." And then Matt Mahan was like, "Well, then why were you at taking a look at our tiny houses and stuff a week ago and like being all nice to me?" I was like, "Whoa,
right,
whoa!"
You were super excited. You were super excited about our shit, before, and now I'm running. So you're gonna hate. But yeah, no, we've talked for a while about how the lane that this guy has to run in at 209. He hasn't. You're right. He hasn't accomplished jack shit. Like his tech companies didn't do anything. He didn't do much of anything in his first term or his half term as a city council member. He's pretty much running for mayor the whole time he was on the city council, and he's done nothing but sort of propose and steamroll through some policies that sound good to a certain sect of people out there. The populists, the quote unquote moderate Democrats or public safety law abiding Democrats who just want to see their neighborhood cleaned up and see the icky homeless people
that's what I think when I go to San Jose is, boy, howdy do I wish somebody would clean this dump up. I mean, it is like the most boring fucking cleanest fucking city.
Right. So those folks who think that it's just too dirty and filthy, he's speaking all the right things in language and he's saying all the right things. But it's the classic case of proposals and policy initiatives that haven't even had a chance to succeed or fail yet, and so he's able to sort of live off of those media hits and that hype without having to justify himself, right, or prove his worth or show the success or relative success of the things that he's proposed and is quote unquote done. He hasn't done anything, but this is the quintessential politician, right? Like he talks a lot about this. This is what's the most hypocritical thing about our mayor in the first place is that he talks mad game about government needing to be run by like a business, and he's not a politician. He's a business person. He's a CEO, and he needing to run things that way. And he's not a career politician, but he's absolutely behaving like one because this is exactly what career politicians do. They get press releases and stories written about them, proposing things that are even somewhat controversial, right? But sound really good, and then just jumping ship and hopping up to the next office or hopping to another adjacent office or just getting out before they have to face the consequences of whether or not their policies are actually successful. And as we've talked about here on the show many times, there's a lot of data and analysis that shows that his programs and his policies won't work, but they sound really good to a certain sect of voters, like moderate Republicans, moderate Democrats, and there's a really big chunk right there in the middle right now because a lot of folks just don't subscribe to one way or the other right now, especially younger people. They're registering independent, and they're looking for people like him who promise to shake things up and turn things on their head, right? Why do we see so many recalls on this show? Because people are just sick of whoever's in charge. And so as long as he can say like, well, I've got a little experience being in charge, but if I had more,
right. like what you, it's like, I don't know. This has nothing to do with you specific. Do you know what the Peter Principle is?
I'm familiar with it, yeah, for sure. But if you
like
want
anybody who doesn't know, it's basically you keep getting promoted until you get a job that you are incompetent to do.
Right.
And
that tracks well for me, actually, given my name. But yeah, that's sort of how I've lived my professional life, frankly. So, but yeah, no, very much so. I think that he's absolutely on that track.
Well, I think he's trying to speed run. I think he's trying to speed run the Peter Principle here.
Yeah, no, and really just, I mean, he's got his eyes on the prize, right? Like someone asked me, someone said, he's just running because he wants to up his name ID and run for Congress. This kind of guy is not going to be satisfied being one out of 435 legislators in a room, right? Like this guy absolutely has to be in charge.
To win. If we know he's not running to up his profile, he's running to win.
100%. He wants to be governor, and I think
I don't like him, but I think if you are running, you should run to win, or you shouldn't run. Like
100%. I think that's
I'm like fucking Eli from The Good Wife, right? I'm like, you either run to win or you don't run, right?
No, but it's true. It's true. No, it's dead right. Like there's too much money and too much energy and too much put into these races to run just for fun or for show or to boost your name ID for the next time. And the next time for governor is 8 years from now, and by that point, his policies will have failed in San Jose, and he won't be the shiny new thing. He'll be the old guard. He'll be an institutional bureaucrat, and he won't have the same narrative that he has now. And I think that that's exactly why Mr. Ageluni, who we should get on the show, is saying he's going to run for mayor, 2 years later run for governor, and hey, 2 years later run for president. Just get to the top and get that first line of your obituary solidified, before anyone realizes that you're a total fraud, right?
Right.
And he said it himself. I heard this when he ran for mayor. I heard from other candidates who heard it from him. A lot of them said, "Oh, well, he's new here. He hasn't really established himself. He needs to pay his dues, quote unquote, before he runs." And he told them flat out, like, this is my moment. This is a moment. This is the opportunity I have because...
But of course he thinks it's his moment.
Right. Well,
he's that guy. He's that guy. It's always his moment.
Yeah, he's the classic white Bellarmine graduate, and I say that as a classic white Bellarmine graduate. That's exactly how they see it. It's an entitlement thing, and he sees it as the more just accruing power. It's really what it's all about, right? It's accruing power. I don't think he ever being a city council member, being a mayor, even is kind of like he sees it as beneath him. I think he sees it as small potatoes, right? But it's just a step in the process, right? It's a step on your career path. So he's just seizing the opportunity, he thinks, because otherwise he's going to have to wait another 8 years for governor, or he'd have to wait another 8 years after that to run for president. And why not just go for it now? Why not just, if that's what you want, go for it and damn the torpedoes. And right now is the moment. Like there is so much about him that profiles much like our current president, who is taking advantage of a moment in time when there is a substantial chunk of this country that is just disgruntled with government, dissatisfied with government, for good reason and unjustly, but there's a lot of truth to it, and is taking it out on the people in charge and the bureaucrats in charge. And right now he's running in a field of Democratic bureaucrats. Like there's no other folks in that race who haven't been career politicians, right, and haven't been in office for a long time.
Tom Steyer hasn't been in office, but that doesn't mean he's not a career politico, right?
Correct, and he's been around, right? He ran for president. Like he's just a known commodity, and so no matter how many ads he runs, like he's still butting up against the fact that he's never actually won anything, and everyone knows he's just a billionaire.
Like chat, we were talking a little bit, and on policy. First of all, he was Tom Steyer was the only one. The other one that talked policy. Oh, I forget his name. The black guy, the shaved head black guy.
Tony Thurmond.
We like Tony the best, by the way. But him and Tom Steyer were the only ones who actually talked any policy during the entire fucking debate. Everybody else was just straight vibes.
Yeah, just trying to keep it real high level and not get into, because there's so many people running, right? There's so many people running, and you just don't want to, the margins are going to be so razor thin in terms of who gets to the runoff, right? You may only need 10% of the vote to get to the runoff with this many candidates. So everyone's just trying very hard not to piss off any certain sect, whereas Mahan and others are just really going for it. They're going for their lane. They know the voters they want, and they're trying to fire them up, right? So everyone else is just going to play it safe. Tony's, a different story, because he just comes from a more just, dyed in the wool progressive background. That's just who he is. He has gone through the ranks. Yeah, he's come up through the ranks. He is a career politician. He's our current public education superintendent for the state. But that's who he is, right? That's where he comes from. He was not afraid to say, yeah, we need to fucking tax the billionaires, and we need to create more single payer systems in all sorts of areas, right? He's not afraid to step up because that's who he is. But he also needs to, as the basically lone black candidate, he really does need to step up and make that case because, at the end of the day, racism and sexism still prevails. It's a reason why there's only 2 women running right now, right? And only one of them was on the stage. And even she was playing it. Betty E was playing it pretty safe.
I liked her too. I don't think I'd vote for her, but she didn't seem like a jackass, right?
She's not. And she's probably, out of that field, she's probably the smartest, sharpest, most qualified candidate.
She got talked over. If you could imagine, I don't know if your wife would understand this or anything. She got talked over sometimes.
Sure. Oh, the good wife absolutely understands it. We vibed on it afterwards and watched some clips. And my wife is very much in the space of trying to elect and pipeline and get more women into leadership, but also because of that, innately understands the sexism that exists in the voting base amongst fellow candidates, and how it's very, the shout down thing is absolutely real, right? The shutout thing is absolutely real. Whether you're the only two candidates who interrupted anyone were Hilton and Mahan, and they did it to each other mostly, but I think Mahan did it to Betty Yee. Yeah, are you trying to talk over me? Is that what's going on, producer Dave? No, but in all seriousness, yeah, Mayor Matt's not going to be afraid to do that, right? And he just feels like it's his lane, and he is kind of a bully when it comes down to it, and that's how he's going to treat this race. I think that's how he thinks he's going to get elected, and maybe he'll be successful. Who knows? But all I know is that it's leaving, and folks are absolutely right that are saying this. It's one. He hasn't accomplished shit, right? And for all we know, the policies he's proposing in San Jose aren't going to really solve the problem, and they more than likely won't solve the problem because they're not addressing the problem. They're addressing the symptoms of the problem. There's also a question of, no matter who the mayor is, no matter what policies they're proposing, no matter what kind of political stripe they have, this kind of this type of political ambition and this striving for the next big prize, it really just, the people that get hurt are the people of San Jose, the city itself, right? Because we don't get consistent leadership. We don't even get consistent leadership. There might be bad leadership, right? There's no consistency. There's no staying power. There's no one who's really committed to San Jose. And all we heard during his campaign was how much he cared for San Jose, and San Jose made him who he was, and yada yada. And he's a small town guy from Watsonville, right, who grew up with farm workers and all this shit. It really just rings completely hollow when all you're just doing is just climbing the political ladder as fast as you possibly can, and just accruing more power as fast as you possibly can. So yet to be seen how it works out, if he can raise the money, if he can up his profile outside of the Bay. He's been trying to do that for years already, through free media and through a lot of the policies he's proposing. And who knows, if he became governor, maybe he'd flip on some of these things, maybe criminalizing homeless people and overturn and putting more folks back in prison. Maybe they make good headlines now, right, to get him elected, and then maybe he'll flip and do something else when he realizes that to get a majority of Democrats on board, you got to be a little more progressive. Who knows? But he's doing everything he thinks he needs to do to win, and I'm unlike others, I think that he has a perfectly decent shot of making this happen. I
swear to you, I think he's the fucking front runner right now.
Who knows at this point, really. We'll find out.
The polls
in June
show
better,
fucking Steve Hilton winning as the front runner, but that's because he's the only Republican. That other guy seems to have checked out, right? That sheriff guy. It seems like after they pointed out that he took a knee with the Black Lives Matter people or whatever, it seems like he's been trying to keep a low profile now. So Steve Hilton seems to be ahead in the polls, but that's because he's the only Republican.
Right. I mean, this state is 2/3 Democrat when it comes to, or at least left leaning, even if they're independent. But there's a substantial chunk of Republicans. I think it's 26% of the state is Republican. That's a big chunk when you're talking about 12 candidates and 10 of them are Democrats, right? So the more, if Mahan can bite into that pie and he can get just enough of a sliver of the Democratic pie, he's absolutely got a shot to get into the runoff. And if it's him against Steve Hilton, I mean, come on.
I mean, I vote for Matt Mahan over Steve Hilton.
Frankly, I might. I'll probably sit that one out. I'll be the
right.
undervote
You
on that
could
one.
also just fill out the whole rest of the ballot and be like, I don't know, this is fucked up. Y'all, the rest of you could decide.
They call that the undervote. So when you cast a ballot but you don't vote in a race, that's the undervote. That actually happens quite a bit in local races. You'll find if you do run the numbers, like when there's a
We tell people
gubernatorial
like
race
during
or
the election, like when we
presidential.
talk about like the upcoming election, we're like, if you don't understand something, it's okay to just leave it blank.
Right, and a lot of people do, and it happens more in local races than it does in the bigger races. A lot of times in like a presidential race, you'll see a shit ton of people in a city council race sitting that race out. Like they'll go and vote for whatever Biden, Trump, or Barack Obama, Mitt Romney, and then like a substantial chunk, enough to like make the difference in that city council race, will just sit it out. They won't vote, but they cast a ballot, right? So it's like. We have this situation where we're making it easier for folks to vote. More people are actually voting, but they're not voting on some of the races that have the most impact in their lives for a variety of reasons. One, they don't know, or they don't care, or they don't just care for any of the candidates either.
I feel like it's better to vote for, even if you don't understand half the shit on the ballot, because I don't know, you're working 2 jobs, you got 2 kids, and you're the only one you don't understand shit. The ballot comes, you vote for the shit you understand, and you fucking send it in, and you go back to the rest of your life. Like, if that's what you could do, that's what you can fucking do. I don't know. I think that's like admirable, actually.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, we make it so fucking easy. It exasperates me that more people don't. But at the same time, I think that there is this attitude now. I mean, there is an attitude. It's shown in the polls of not apathy. It's not apathy. It's not like I don't give a fuck about anything anymore. It's more that I don't think no matter who I vote for, right, anything's going to change. That's not apathy. That's just frustration. And Mahan and Trump are in the same kind of boat because they are both playing and preying on that mentality. Like nothing's working, but I can fucking fix it. Even though they have no track record of fixing anything, but they also don't have a track record of not fixing anything necessarily.
Right.
Although Trump has a much bigger record of failure.
We should move on, but I think also during watching the debate, I was saying, I wish the councilman was here. I think I might have used your government name, but whatever. It's on your. It's now on your.
It's fine.
It's now on your. But what I was saying is that what I was saying is I think during that when they started talking about homelessness and all this, I think what I said that I thought you would say is that Matt's getting the fuck out of Dodge before his policies fail.
Completely, and they will.
Not that like everybody's policies are failing on fixing the homelessness problem because of the way it's being framed and the way people are talking about it. Everybody's policies are failing. It's not like Matt's the only one it's not like the rest of the ship is floating and Matt's off in a sinking lifeboat on this one, right? Like everybody's failing at like homeless policy, but Matt's able to claim that he fixed it because he's not going to be there long enough for it to dawn on everybody that building these stupid little tiny houses in places where like the fucking NIMBY ass neighbors don't want them and then end up having to move it somewhere else and having that be your fucking policy to help the homeless it's not going to work. All you're doing is pissing everybody off. Fuck, the homeless might leave. They might be like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Well, we're going to find out more about that in the next tip. What he's doing, I loved it. But what he's doing really quickly is, exactly what Miss Cartwright in the clip said. The activist, he's warehousing the problem, and that's not going to solve anything. It's not going to solve the systemic problem.
Converting a warehouse to housing. But that's not warehousing. That's converting a warehouse to housing. That would solve the problem. Right. Put some co-ops where there used to be like medium-sized business there off of North First Street. Sure, you got to share a bathroom, but you got a roof over your head and a nice kitchen.
Sure. Well, just putting people in beds is not going to solve the problem of that. Housing is just completely unaffordable, and we're creating it's not just housing, like where the cost of living is making things untenable for working people, even people who are working full-time jobs. We're not addressing the systemic issues. We're just trying to hide the issue so that people don't have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis. But speaking of which, that's what's happening also in San Francisco. Mayor Ed 210 is no stranger to trying to brush things under the rug, and we're going to find out more from this story from NBC Bay Area about what he's up to.
The streetlight banners are starting to go up around the city. Super Bowl 60 is just around the corner. In preparation,
but it's not. It's all the way down 101.
For that,
well, no one knows that really, unless they're from the Bay.
About what a national spotlight means when it comes to the ongoing homeless crisis on city streets.
10 years ago during the Super Bowl, the city actually moved some of the homeless folks away from the Super Bowl events. Have you had any discussions about anything like that for the upcoming Super Bowl?
No, I've been clear that 365 days a year, we are going to get people the help that they need. We've stood up over 600 treatment and recovery beds.
That was during an event where Mayor Daniel Lurie was talking about a program called Journey Home. It's basically giving people tickets out of San Francisco. Mayor Daniel Lurie says a lot of the people that he comes into contact with in the streets of San Francisco who are unhoused don't actually live here.
We are here to...
Wait, excuse me. Yes, they do.
I mean, they do now, bro. I mean, yeah. But let's hear more.
We have a lot of people that I see out on the street every single day, like this morning, who are not from San Francisco. We want to get them home. We want to get them the help that they need.
According to the city's Department of Homelessness, Journey Home is a program administered in cooperation with Glide in the city's Tenderloin neighborhood. During today's event, the mayor and the city's chief of health and human services, Kunal Modi, announced some tweaks to the long-running program. Instead of just bus tickets, the city is now offering train and plane rides too. And
get the fuck out of here even faster. A plane ticket. I'm sorry. How some motherfucker like who's fucking thinks he's communicating with some other motherfucker in Atlanta via like some kind of telepathy system gonna get through the fucking TSA line?
No, and what are they going to find if they can get on the plane and they get off the plane? Like what's the guarantee? Why are they not going to be homeless and have the same struggles there? Like, maybe there's a reason why they left in the first place. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody in chat was like, "Hey, isn't this human trafficking?"
Pretty much is. I mean, I'll give you some data on the other side of this hit, but this is just a total sham. Just the ultimate brush under the rug. Only not brush under the rug, like to brush you out of my house. Like just go away.
And not even under the rug.
Right. Get out of my town.
Up with those taking the tickets so they can help them get connected to services.
Oh, I love that little market.
Mm-hmm.
Their home communities.
I've been there.
They used to have good energy drink selection.
Up till now, about 18% of the people the city has sent home on the program have made it back to the city.
Part of what we're doing is really
Yes. Yeah. They're like, oh, sure. Sure. And then they're like, they're like on Amtrak, like kicking it, using the free Wi-Fi, charging their phone, fucking on their way to fucking Denver. And then they just get back on the Amtrak and come right the fuck back.
Oh man, it was a good ride. Thanks, bro.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go tell Daniel Lurie I'm homeless and fucking I live in fucking I'm from New Orleans. Please send me there during fucking Fat Tuesday.
In Carnival. Let's do this. I'm all for it. And we can sign up for ICE and get the $50,000 signing bonus.
This client's full history, both from a benefit standpoint, from a criminal justice standpoint, and making sure we're connecting with the right authorities and services back in their home community so we can help them be successful back home.
Oh, this is great. I'd love to be on the fuck. I'd love to listen on. They're calling some fucking. They're calling some city like what? Let's think of a struggling city. Oh, Detroit. Detroit's like the in Detroit they think San Francisco is a rich city, and comparatively it is. So imagine being the motherfucker on the other end, like a homeless services department of the city of Detroit. You pick up the phone and they're like, hey, this is Bob, and I'm from the city of San Francisco, and we're sending, looks like 17 more homeless people. They're going to arrive on Greyhound. They say that they have a family in Detroit. Could you help us find their family? And the person on the other end is like, you're doing what?
Like, fuck you, bro. Yeah, this is it's sad, and yet all we can do is laugh because it's that sad. Anyway,
man, I don't know. Like people come to California because the weather, right? If you're going to be homeless, like the Bay Area, I mean, it's like, that's why there's so many people on Skid Row in LA. Because if you got to be outside,
we can get into this trope now. I mean, I'm really
going to Hawaii.
Frankly.
If this exists, I'm like, damn, dude, I could be a beach bum.
Bro, I'm from Hawaii, man. Can you send me back to Maui? But in all seriousness, this is an absolute trope. It's complete bullshit. Almost every study shows, no matter what city you're in, that over 80% of the people who are unhoused in San Jose and San Francisco and the Bay Area are actually their last known address and last home address was in the county or the city where they are now currently unhoused. So we're talking about a very small subset of folks in the first place. And then on top of that, they're coming back, right? So it's not as though this is solving anything. And even if you did send them home, it's not like the amount of effort and energy you put into like finding their family. And who knows, like maybe they're homeless because their fucking family like kicked them out and rejected them in the first place, or maybe they do have an addiction or a mental health issue or crisis, and
their family's not equipped to deal with, right? Maybe their family is like they're like, oh, this is horrible, but I can't. They don't have the money. They don't have. Sometimes these problems just cost fucking money that people's families don't have.
Right, and it's not solving anything, and you're putting, like you said, you're putting a burden on the social services in those areas. You're putting a burden on, if you can somehow
and
find
you're just
their family.
pissing people off, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, completely. Well, you're not pissing off your constituents, because it sounds great, like to those law-abiding, law and order Democrats and Republicans in the middle.
We got another 40 seconds of this. We're gonna get person on the street.
Yeah, I hope so. Let's see if we can get that going.
In 2023 and Super Bowl 50 10 years ago, the city mobilized resources through its Department of Emergency Management to clear people out of the convention and shopping districts.
And that guy from the fire department is like, hey man, you homeless? The guy's like, yeah. He's like, that sucks. He's like, aren't you glad I'm not a cop?
Right. You want a plane ticket? Where you want to go?
The city's Department of Emergency Management has not replied to my inquiries about if or when that could be done again. The Super Bowl is now less than 18 days away.
But more than 18 miles from the things that you were showing.
San Francisco, NBC, Bay Area News.
And the Super Bowl is more than just the game.
That's so stupid. Wait a minute. This is no. This is nothing. No, this has nothing to do with anything. Like, this has nothing to do with the fucking Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, it doesn't. There's plenty of San Francisco. Actually, just the way that things work out is the hub of the non-game activity. Right, the game is happening in the South Bay where I'm at, but it's most of the activities, the Pro Bowl and other real hype activities, are up happening in San Francisco because everyone knows where San Francisco is, and San Francisco is sexy, even though it costs a shit ton more to stay in a hotel there. It costs a shit ton more to do conventions there, but everyone knows where San Francisco is. No one knows the fuck all where San Jose is. Like, they don't even know where Silicon Valley is. So they definitely don't know where Santa Clara is. So yeah, a lot of shit is happening there. So they're just trying to clean, and a lot of folks are staying there. So they're just trying to clean things up again, just to look nice until all those folks leave. And then the problems will still persist. And the folks the 18% of folks that they send away will come back and return to San Francisco. And, it's just this big trope that, it's California and the weather's nice and our government is super liberal, so therefore that's why most a lot of unhoused people come here. It's like, honestly, bro, like if they were gonna go home or if they were gonna travel around, like they would be doing it. Like, no one has the money to be doing that in the first place. Like, they're stuck here. They're from here. They live here. And no matter where they came from, right? They are San Franciscans now because they're living in your city. It doesn't matter if they're living on the street or they're living in a house. Like, they're your problem. I hate to say problem, but they are your responsibility, and you're just abdicating it by buying into the same bullshit tropes you hear on the conservative blogs about how people need to lift themselves up people just lift themselves up by their bootstraps and just struggled and hustled, they would solve their own problems. And it just rings completely hollow when you look at the data and you actually talk to people and you understand what's going on out there. If you've actually been on the streets and know what's happening, then this just rings completely empty.
And like, not for nothing, like we watched the Shasta Board of Supervisors, and they're like, San Francisco's sending all their homeless people out here. And then one of the people, I don't think I'd ever even seen them. They it was during public comment. They were like, and you said San Francisco's sending their homeless people. They just straight up asked, like, what's here for a homeless person that isn't in San Francisco? They're like, the weather is way worse here. They're like, it was pretty smart what they said. They're like, they're not doing that. The homeless people don't want to come here.
Not at all. They can't afford to live anywhere, right? They're where they're at because unfortunately the system has set them there. And as we're going to see in the next hit, I mean, maybe all these folks in San Francisco who are unhoused and live on the street,
maybe they used to all live in San Jose.
Right, because as we found out recently, and it's actually been consistent, San Jose is the least affordable city in the country, and we're going to find out more from NBC Bay Area.
A live look at the Bay Area's biggest city as we get another reminder of just how tough it can be to make it in the Bay. A home tracking firm has dubbed San Jose the least affordable city anywhere in the world. And as you might imagine, it all comes down to the cost of housing. Here's our business and tech reporter, Scott Budman.
Silicon Valley's housing prices have become almost as famous as its tech industry. So when we told real estate agent Lindsay Gridley that San Jose was just named the least affordable city in the world by home tracker Remitly, she wasn't surprised.
Because we have a shortage of housing for the number of people that are here, and then we have a large discrepancy of wages.
So how did we get here? A combination of that housing shortage mixed with tech companies providing their workers very high salaries and stock options, giving them the ability to buy homes here.
Because we have some people with high incomes, limited housing, they're the ones that can buy the properties that are available.
But if you don't have a high income,
there's just not enough affordable units.
It's hard to make it. According to the United Way, it's hard even if you do earn a good salary.
And honestly, I think it's become, unaffordable for even people with higher incomes as well. Because it takes a lot just to live here and feel like you're making, you're able to do enough for your families.
And we should mention it's not just San Jose that's high on that unaffordable list of the top 10, Audrey. San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles, and Long Beach, along with places like New York and Paris, in the top 10, a very California-centric list, and that, again, goes to housing.
I think a lot of people hearing about this right now aren't surprised that a lot of cities in California made that list. Agents saying about all of this, what are they seeing right now in our housing market?
This is interesting because usually you and I don't talk about this until the spring when we get a lot of action. They're starting to say here in late January, we're starting to see a lot of action. People putting housing on the market, which is good news around here. The more, the better. But also we're seeing more bids of 5 bids, 8 bids, even 10 bids on a house. It's rare to see that until the spring. It means people are interested, perhaps because the mortgage rates have stayed right around 6% for a long time. But there is money on the sidelines waiting to buy these homes. But as the real estate agents and even the United Way of Bay Area say, there just aren't enough to satisfy the demand and keep prices from staying high.
Need more.
Great. No discussion of private equity. Great. Good job. No discussion of private equity scooping up a lot of single family homes.
Right. Not to mention international corporations and equity companies and investors. There's a lot of folks, a lot of housing just sitting there vacant, frankly, and unused or being leveraged to line the coffers of folks who already have enough, right? Like it's there's a lot of factors at play here. Housing is not there's no silver bullet, as they say, to solve this crisis that we're experiencing.
No, because private equity will just buy it all.
Right, and no one's policies are working right now, as you said, no matter if you're Matt Mahan or someone else. So no one's got the answers, no one has the solutions, and even if they did, the solutions would be decades in the making, because the problem has been decades in the making. It's not like we just woke up today and suddenly we have a cost of living problem, and we have a income inequity, and we have a housing shortage. Like, this is all systemic. It's been progressively getting worse. We can see the trends, especially in Silicon Valley. And yet government has done nothing about it, and that no one's really had those solutions, because government, private industry, and even philanthropy aren't there to solve the problem. They're there to prop up the power structure that created the system in the first place, right? Why we don't want to hurt the tech industry by making them pay their fair share in commercial and property taxes and other things to help support the construction of housing. We don't want to bring salaries in line and support more good union jobs. We want to just help our tech billionaires who fund campaigns and donate to their big causes and sponsor their big events and their wine clatches. We just want to support that class, and we don't really care so much if folks can't afford to live here, because they can just go somewhere else. We can just give them a plane ticket or a train ticket to Detroit, and we don't have to worry about them anymore, right?
Right. It's like, I used to actually have a 2-bedroom apartment all to myself, and now I'm homeless. So I'm going to go to San Francisco and cop a train ticket to somewhere where I can afford an apartment.
100%. I think that's a great idea, frankly. So if you're looking, they're offering out there. But who I want to give a train ticket to is Peter Thiel. And all the billionaires.
They give them a plane ticket to the sun.
They can get a free fucking plane ticket out if they want to, if they don't want to pay the billionaire tax. And another thing, we go back to the gubernatorial race, right? It cracks me up. It's okay. I laugh to keep from crying, right? And I think maybe these anchors do it too. It's kind of disgusting to hear them talk about this when they can probably afford to live in the Bay, right? But they're laughing. Oh, ha ha ha! It's we made
right.
They compare
I don't think these people are making a lot of fucking money. Local news is dying. So like these people they're the same struggle. They're that
right.
Unless you've been there for a long time, he's gone now, but like a Frank Somerville or somebody who has like a lot of clout, basically from the golden age, I suppose, of local news. These people are probably they're probably not buying a house in the Bay Area. They're probably they're just hanging on to the middle class themselves.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are commuting anyway. I know at least reporters who commute from way outside of the Bay and San Jose, like Tracy and Modesto, to do their work, right? But they don't live here and they're not really committed here, which is obviously the reason why their stories suck, because they're not really invested in the city that they're covering anyway. So why should they have accurate and unbiased and fully
or even
fleshed out stories, or even interesting coverage? And speaking of the billionaire class, right, that's been propped up by Silicon Valley, and Tom Steyer is a great example of this, on the news, or putting out ads for his gubernatorial race, talking about we're going to build 1 million new homes. It's like, bro, you don't need to be the fucking governor to do that. You could cut a check tomorrow and build that 1 billion new fucking homes.
Somebody in chat was mentioning that when we were watching the debate. They're like, wait a minute, you could do this way more effectively by not being the governor. I forget who said it in chat, but I was like, wait, that's really, you probably could do this way more effectively by not being the governor.
100%, right? And all we hear is this, like, the violin playing, but it's like, bro, like, why are you doing this other than just to get some more power and be honorable and make a name for yourself? Like, you could get just as much play and just as much, legacy going for yourself if you just cut a big fucking check and built the housing yourself, man, and got all your tech bro friends to do the same, and got all your billionaire VC friends to do the same, and got the developing community that's got wrapped around their finger, and got them to kick into the game too, right? And all these private property owners and private equity, right? If everyone came together, we could solve this thing tomorrow, right? Like that's just like we can solve the food insecurity, right, and hunger. We could feed the whole fucking world on the food that we throw out, right? We could feed the whole world on the land that we use just to grow grass for cows to eat, so that we can eat like a burger every now and then. Like, it's no problem solving these. It's not hard to solve these major problems.
It's how much. It's basically that that's the saying. It's not that we can't satisfy everyone's need. It's that we can't satisfy certain people's greed.
Right. That's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. And unfortunately, nothing's going to change until and unless people just grow a pair and grow some ganas, right? Either in private industry, someone steps up, or people step up more than just a few. I'm
not looking for. I'm not
expecting that to happen anytime soon.
Those people are like, oh, you're still under 50. Should we harvest your blood? And I'm like, I drink a lot and I've done a lot of drugs. And then Elon Musk is like, give me his blood.
Right. And I'm not holding my breath for politicians to hold these folks accountable, like, especially what we heard the other night with everyone equivocating about the billionaire tax. Like, that should be a no fucking brainer, honestly. Like,
if you don't like it, get out.
Right. But
because also, like, you can't, it doesn't matter if you leave, you're still subject. Like, it's still going to be on your taxes this year. Sorry, asshole. They figured they wrote it into the law where it doesn't matter.
Right. But give them a plane ticket to Hawaii. They can get out if they. They
won't like the taxes at all. You send all those people to Hawaii. The first thing Hawaii is going to do is be like, "Oh, y'all moved here. You don't say."
Yeah, journey home, fuckers. Have a good time wherever you're going.
Way lefty. Hawaii is like the leftiest. Hawaii is probably the liberalist state. So before we move on, real quick, I don't know if you were ever there. Were you ever at the house that Hunter and his friends were renting in Sunnyvale?
I don't think I got to check it out, but I've certainly been in some Sunnyvale residences.
Well, what I was saying is that like they were when we went to, like, there was just a party there, and then we were talking, and they were saying they didn't meet any neighbor at all who owns their home, and they live in like track houses. Like, do you know what I'm saying? That these were like these they live in, like, these are the American dream houses, where you got a little picket fence, you got some space between your neighbor, but not too much, but some space between you. These are, in Fremont, they have Ardenwood. Your neighborhood, it's a little more, your neighborhood, it's not like your neighborhood, it's a newer development, right? So it's like the houses, you know what I'm talking about? The houses are all the same fucking color and shit, but they were like, this is the American dream, and you buy this fucking house that seems to have fallen out of the sky looking just like the house next to it. They were probably built in like the early 80s, right? And now private equity just owns the whole fucking neighborhood.
Absolutely. I was at a party in a house party in Los Altos, right? Even more Tony community on the border of Mountain View, and in a home that, it's a single family home, just like you're talking about. It's, detached, got its own yard. It's very white, the literal white picket fence in the front, and they're renting. Right, these are folks who owned a home and they had to sell, and now they're renting and paying, an exorbitant amount of money that they only can afford because they're both in tech, right? To live there, but they're renting the house. It's not, they don't own the place, right? And it's just so common these days to see that. So the American dream is unattainable, and it's changed, right? It's dead. Like there is no American dream anymore, quote unquote. Like there's the American
dream is to figure out how to. The American dream is to figure out how to move to Germany.
Absolutely, or just get. It's certainly how to. Right now, I mean, it may not be the worst idea in the world to get out while you can, but
Canada.
For those,
I heard Mexico. They have fucking healthcare there. That's what I heard.
And frankly, the good wife and I would be in the same boat if we weren't, in the lucky folks who inherited from our dead parents, basically. Like, so we had to lose our parents to be able to, afford to live in the Bay. Like that's sort of how lucky we are, right? So
that's what my parents keep telling me and my sister. They're like, you'll be fine once we kick it.
Right.
I'm like, that's fucking dark.
It's sad. Yeah, it's sad. I have to tell my mom, like, no matter what, do not sell your house, right? Because my brothers are going to need a place to stay one day, and I'm not putting them up, right? Like that's the reality of where we're at, right? And she even talks that way too. So it's just sad to think that's we're in the privileged class, but that's like the privilege is that I had to lose my dad to have a house.
The privilege is that like that our parents got to live this version of the American dream because they white, educated, lucky in some ways. I'm sure both of our families were, but there we go. That's the end of that train, right? Like it's not like
completely.
It's not like then you or I or like my sister's really going to be able to pass on that kind of privilege to anybody.
No, and they keep trying to steal, claw it back. And my parents were, my mom was a public school teacher. My dad's an accountant, right? Like a CPA. You have those professions now. There's no way you could afford to buy a house in this market. No fucking way. You'd be just as destitute and struggling.
No, like I don't know. Like my parents' house is worth almost $2 million fucking dollars, and it's just like an upstairs, downstairs 3-bedroom house. My apartment in Campbell was about the same amount of fucking square feet as their single family home, and I'm like, why? Is it just none of it makes any fucking sense? But when they joke, they're like, "Hey, the house is all paid off, and we're cash flow positive. So when we're gone, you guys will be okay." And I'm like, "Stop it!" I'm like, my good wife and I have made more money in equity on our house since we bought it or acquired it than we have from our fucking full-time jobs. Right, combined, like right, and that's just an indicator that nobody can afford to buy a fucking house because you're two professional people. Okay, maybe you're not so professional, but the good wife is very professional.
I like to think that I'm somewhat professional, but usually I get called out on it.
If the increase in the value of your home is outpacing like the income of two professional people in your community, then nobody can afford to buy a house there. Who the fuck can afford? Like, it's like the lines never cross, right?
Correct. And why would we ever move or sell? And like, why would we want to leave our jobs or do anything to change or like progress? Right. Because we live in fear of like what that would mean. Right. Like, how would we be able to, any kind of change in that dynamic, right, could throw us completely asunder. So folks are just going to get stuck, or they're going to not have the privilege and luxury, and they're going to move out. And what's left, left is Peter Thiel. That's pretty much it. Just a bunch of Peter Thiels.
And not for nothing, for some people, like in a place like San Francisco or like Oakland, where there's just not as many like single family homes, like rent control laws sort of provide a version of that for if you don't own a home, where your bills aren't going to go up, your stuff's going to remain pretty stable, and you got people attacking that shit all the time.
Yep,
when they say, you can't get any housing, and that's because all these people are sitting in these rent controlled 2-bedroom apartments at $1,200 a month, and I'm like, I'd feel good for them.
Yeah, fucking A. I mean, more power to them. They should stay. my aunt had a rent-controlled place in San Francisco. I don't know why she ever left, but she just had to stake it out somewhere else, and now she's struggling to make ends meet. What do you know? But had a beautiful flat for like $1,500 a month, and now, and God knows what they raised the rent to when she moved out, but it's not $1,500. I can tell you that much. Anyway,
if they were calling it a flat and not an apartment, it's probably $4,000 now.
It was a full floor in outer Richmond. So just outside,
nice area.
Just 2 blocks from Seacliff, and a full floor in a maybe 3-story building. So affordable, economical, even by those standards. And now, it's got to be $4K at least a month. I don't want to even go back and look. But anyway, we do have to move on.
We do have to move on because I have to make fun of people who drink their own pee at some point tonight.
At some point. So a little bit further up the peninsula here in Mountain View, we're going to get out of the housing market, and we're going to go into our to look at the slow encroachment by the police state. Apparently, a city of Mountain View brought in some some cameras to improve public safety, and then found out, hey, surprise, someone's looking at the data and the information that you didn't want looking at it. And we're going to find out more from ABC7.
We begin tonight in Mountain View, where city officials say data collected by these flock cameras was accessed by federal agencies and allegedly without the city's consent. An internal audit also revealed that California law enforcement agencies got their hands on that data, even though they were not authorized by Mountain View police. ABC7 News reporter Ansar Hassan explains what happened.
From August to November 2024, the city of Mountain View says several federal law enforcement agencies accessed this flock license plate reader camera located at San Antonio Road and Charleston Road. The city says an internal audit found a nationwide search setting was turned on by flock safety. The city declined an interview request, but in a statement it says this setting was enabled without the Mountain View Police Department's permission or knowledge. This is a system failure on flock safety's part. According to the city, the federal agencies that access the camera's data include ATF offices in Kentucky and Tennessee, Langley Air Force Base in Virginia, the U.S. GSA Office of Inspector General, Lake Mead National Recreation Area in Nevada, and in Ohio.
What the fuck is the park ranger looking at that shit for?
I have fucking no idea.
You know what? Out of all these people, I think the park ranger. You could probably guess the park ranger's not doing anything super nefarious with this information.
Who knows? Maybe someone planted a bomb at the Hoover Dam or something, and they're just trying to track him down.
Force Base. Mountain View Police also discovered that a statewide search function was not operating within the system controls that were established. That allowed California law enforcement agencies to access data from 29 of the city's 30 flock cameras, which was not approved by the city. The camera settings have since been changed.
There's just no such thing as enough safeguards. They have the technology to get into what they want, when they want, and how they want it. That's just what's true, and that's the reality that we all need to be operating in right now.
Kat Brooks is with the Anti-Police Terror Project. While Mountain View says it worked hard with flock safety during the outset of the program to design a model that strictly prohibited out-of-state data sharing, Brooks argues just fixing data settings isn't enough to fix the problem.
And the city can goodwill it to death. It's irrelevant what their intentions are. If they are gathering the data, there is no protecting that data from anybody who wants it and wants it bad enough.
A flock safety spokesperson issued this statement to ABC7 News, quote, "Sharing settings within flock are always under the control of the agency. We are proud of the positive impact Mountain View PD has made with our technology, and we hope to resolve the concerns of the police department directly with them."
They're like, listen, we're not Palantir, all right?
He says an effective tool in fighting crime, but that it's reassessing its relationship with flock safety and
no, take down the cameras.
Alternative vendors with, quote, "a stronger track record of data protection, oversight, and transparency."
Oh, fuck. Palantir is going to get the fucking, oh, no, oh, man.
Yeah, it's just another example of, you have to think about who you're getting in bed with first, and if you're rushing to, you're rushing for the easy way out, right? The cameras make it easier for law enforcement to do their job, make it a clean, safer city, and everyone tells you, oh, this is the way to go. These guys are great. They're going to clean up our city with these things.
Right, and nobody ever asked the question: is it? Wait, what if nobody ever asked the question? Wait, is our city unclean and unsafe currently? And they're like, well, no. actually.
Right.
Like, nobody ever stops to be like, wait a minute, what if we do nothing?
Right. And a city like Mountain View, of course, right? And, I'll admit it. I know most of the city council in Mountain View, and they all voted unanimously to bring these cameras in, right? Because no one's asking the question. No one wants to be seen as not, wanting to do something to keep the city clean and keep public safety front and center, right? And they all want the easy way out. And but they don't ask the tough questions, and they don't think, and they don't know, frankly, a lot about how these systems work and operate in the first place. And no one's asking the question, no one's stepping up to say anything, and lo and behold, this shit happens, and they're like, oh, we probably should have said something. We probably should have listened to the experts. We probably should have listened to the ACLU. We probably should have listened to the people that actually do know what they're talking about when it comes to technology.
That guy, there was a guy at public comment, and I didn't understand a word he said, but he seemed to think the cameras were an invasion of our privacy. I guess I should have fucking maybe asked him to fill out a form to explain something to somebody on my staff or something, because this seems to have gone horribly wrong.
He was using very big words. And even, I don't want to put it on just the elected officials. There's plenty of city administrators in these cities that don't understand the technology and don't know what they're getting into, and are just really, they're the ones really that are looking for the efficient, whatever, quote unquote, efficient and easy way out, because they just want someone else to do their job for them. They're overworked and overburdened, and they're public employees, and they want things to be simpler, right? And so anyone can come in and promise to make their lives simpler. It's not just like cameras like this. Like I work in communications, in education and public education. The number of vendors that would come at us at any given time offering solutions for this, that, or the other thing, CRM or parent outreach, or solving our HR challenges with AI. Right? There's so many sycophants and vultures out there trying to get you to spend public resources, because they know, and preying on them because they know that these public agencies don't know thing one about the technology, right? And they'll chase the shiny new thing because it's promised to make their lives easier, right? And then they get in bed with these companies, and suddenly, oh, the shit doesn't work. Oh, our fucking donor database doesn't work, as well as we'd like it to. Or, oh, the information is being shared out with other people, or it's not. Something's totally fucked up. But we could have anticipated it, but we just wanted to make our lives easier. And these guys sounded really good at the time, right? And suddenly you're out hundreds of thousands of dollars, and everyone's pissed off, and your data is being leaked out, so it's not uncommon at all, and it's just sad that no one really is. We're racing, it seems like, to try and make our lives quote unquote easier, when maybe they should be a little difficult. Maybe it should be hard work to keep communities safe. Maybe it's not just about cameras. It's about investing in parks and libraries and public and the arts, right? And it's not just about putting more cops in the street or putting out cameras to catch people.
I know this might be controversial. Less cameras, more snitching.
Right, or just more trust, like building more community trust, right? There's a reason why a city like San Jose is quote unquote safest big city, right? Or it can get away with having what folks say are substantially less police officers than a city of our size should have, right? That's a common trope that we hear a lot. Well, there's a reason why San Jose is still a safe city, despite all that, a safer city, a clean city, no matter how people want to paint it. It's because we're functioning kind of like a suburb in a small town. Like everyone knows each other, neighbors know each other still here. It's still got that kind of community sense. And
maybe in Willow Glen they know each other. When I lived over on the south side, man, I've never felt more alienated in my life.
Sure. But also, paying enough in rent, and folks are, some of those folks are, paying enough rent or paying enough for their homes that, they're not the ones committing crime. They're doing all right for themselves, right? But here, we've got cultures and different kinds of populations kind of living on top of each other and forced to interact and come together. And still is a very suburban kind of a mentality, kind of a city. So it's really our community that creates, the safety. It's not the cameras, it's not the boots on the ground, but it's not going to stop government from trying to do that and trying to side with the bootlickers. And we're going to hear in this next story from Batman himself as to why
Batman is a fascist. By the way, I just want to let everybody know that Batman is a fascist.
We're going to hear from Batman about why he's tired of the city of Santa Clara just towing the line and not really doing anything to keep people truly safe. And this is a little bit of public comment, since we couldn't preview public comment last week or this week on Downballot. This is a little bit of direct public comment, and there's even an F-bomb. So watch out, kids. Cover your ears.
I want to be clear that this guy in the Batman suit isn't a fascist, but Batman is a fascist. Anyway,
Batman himself, yes, not the Batman suit man. No.
What the fuck are we doing here?
Hell yeah, Batman, get him.
Seriously, you have had months to prepare for this upcoming event. I don't give a damn if this is outside of decorum.
Damn, they give him 3 minutes? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, Santa Clara is a hot public comment city
in this country because we allow this federal government to walk all over you. Look me in the eye. Can any one of your children and tell them that you did everything you could to protect their classmates, to protect their grandparents, to protect them? I don't think you can, with the exception of Park. Thank you. This needs to have happened 2 months ago, but you can still make it up and make every single policy on this little sheet of paper here happen right now. Happen before the Super Bowl. Happen before potentially hundreds of masked men come into our city and kill people. I am disgusted by each and every one of you, with the exception of Councilmember Park.
It's like that movie, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you.
Something more.
Pretty much.
You need to affirm that no city resources will go to ICE, that no cooperation will be given to them. You need to affirm to the country, to the world, that you are not cowards. Because as of right now, I stand in front of a council of cowards. And if you do not act, you're not just cowards, you are traitors. Traitors to each and every individual you serve. To each and every individual that lives in this country, legal or not. You need to do something about getting these policies into writing, ensuring that your officers do not cooperate with ICE, ensuring that they cannot use city resources, that they cannot tap into city data before more people die. Yes, more people die. I don't think I need to go into how many people have been shot, how many people have been taken, how many children have been abducted and used as bait. I don't need to tell you that. You see it on the TV every single day. I don't want you to sit back and watch. I want you to fucking do something. Each and every one of these people who have came up has been very polite, very earnest, very kind, pleading you, begging you to do something. I'm not begging you. I'm fucking demanding that you act with some semblance of a fucking spine. Do something.
Thank you.
Damn, I love that sound at the end. Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you.
Like a superhero
Thank you very
show.
much. Oh, very much so. And I love that, they actually had it in real time, like current speaker, Batman. So Batman had words. Like maybe if Batman had been at the Mountain View City Council, they might have listened before they installed the flock cameras. I don't know.
So I don't want to get too into. I'm skeptical there's going to be a big ICE deployment for the Super Bowl.
I mean, everything we're hearing is that that's not happening. There is going to be a presence here. There is a presence already. Apparently, they're looking. They're doing a lot of work on the public transit system, which tells you a lot about where they think the folks, the illegals are.
I'm sorry. Wait, are you telling me that there's just like random? There's ICE hanging out on the light rail?
Apparently, that's what we're hearing, is that they're doing a lot of actions on the light rail, on the bus system, the train system, and that's where they're looking to do their enforcement for whatever reason. I don't know why, but there, as of now, there are no plans to have a massive presence.
I honestly think they don't want to go there because there's going to be like on the way in it'll be fine, but on the way out a bunch of drunk fucking rich entitled football fans.
Sure.
They go after, like, there's fucking 50 or 60 drunk, like in like well-to-do entitled football fans waiting for the bacon wrapped hot dog, and then somebody comes and takes the bacon wrapped hot dog guy.
Well, we could have had that story on too, where the bacon wrapped hot dog guy actually was forced out of the Super Bowl, comfort zone because they don't want any local vendors interrupting the commerce that the Super Bowl
I saw that.
brings
Yeah,
from the NFL.
Like
the poor hot dog vendor.
I saw it was like a short, so it was like vertical or whatever. But one lady was like, she was like, "This is a good hot dog. What's going on here?" I was like, "Yeah, you get them, lady." She's like, "Why are you why can't you have a hot dog at the Super Bowl?"
Right, like I ride Caltrain, and sometimes I don't have time after work or before work to get food, and this guy's here, and I can get a hot dog, but now I can't get my hot dog. I'm like, fuck you, I'm not going to the Super Bowl. And maybe they're going to be checking out BART too, I imagine. But for what we know now, there's not a massive presence out there. I think part of it also has to do with what you've pointed out too before, Producer Dave. Like, I think that they're fucking scared. Like, why would you come to Oakland, to San Jose, even San Jose or San Francisco, where you're going to face like wall-to-wall backlash and protests, and people standing in your way, right?
The rest of the Bay, we say we don't like San Jose, but if the Goon Squad shows up in San Jose, we're all going to San Jose. Like,
yeah, we'll be here, and I think that they feel like they can get away with it in places like Minneapolis and the Midwest and these
smaller metro areas.
Right, and they can get away with throwing their weight, or they're finding that they can't necessarily. Minneapolis, admit there's only so far you can go, but I think that they feel like they can get away with it elsewhere, but they don't want to come to places like this because it's just too much trouble, and it's going to create too much backlash, and it'd be too much of a bad news hit anyway. So they'll go where they can feel safe, right? They can just run around with impunity, and places that haven't passed ordinances, cities that haven't passed ordinances like San Jose saying ICE is not allowed to operate on city grounds and city facilities, right? There's probably places that are more than willing to play along, and they'll go there, and they'll use their scare tactics and try and freak us all out and make us think that, and try to institute their police state, but they won't come here in that kind of massive. They tried. There was a build up here not too long ago, and that was when protesters found out where they were going to be, right? And they went and blockaded the freaking pier or whatever where they were at.
It was in Alameda
office. Yeah, in Alameda, right? And they
also I don't know, there was also rumors that Barbara Lee basically told somebody something.
Sure. Yeah.
She was like, "Hey, you probably don't want to deploy in Oakland."
I wouldn't, right? And these guys
are just rumors. I heard through the grapevine that she probably she was made it pretty clear that this is not a place that that the people are gonna like put up with that actually at all.
No, and they wouldn't, and it would be a big shit show for them, and it would probably end in more death and more harm and brutality. And right now, I think that they're finally waking up to the fact that they probably don't need that kind of press right now, and they may want to scale back a bit and just take a breath, because things have gotten a little out of hand, even in Stephen Miller's wet dreams. So I think that they're playing it. They're playing hands off with the Bay in this space. There's already plenty of police presence from local police who are just as much cowboys as ICE, to be honest.
Right,
and
I'm sure like the sheriff's department, even like state, like highway patrol or whatever, state troopers or whatever are around there, and like whatever. Like generally, I don't know. There's a bunch of drunk idiots leaving the game. You know what? If law enforcement's going to do something good, fucking just wait there on Tasman and pull over drunk people.
It's not even about the game, though. It's not even about people going to the game. This is really more about and the action I see out there is really about cleaning up, and getting those folks out, getting unhoused people and getting brown and black people out of the way, so that all people coming for the game and to get drunk and to be rowdy football fans don't have to see it all, right? And we put the best face forward of San Jose in the city. That's what I see. I see a lot more homeless people getting shaken down by 8 cops now in unmarked, SUVs as opposed to the black and white, cruisers. So
that's a real good look, all things considered, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why I see more of. I'm downtown now, and the bad baby goes to school downtown, so I've seen it all. She goes to school right across from City Hall, so I see what they're up to, and that's exactly what it is. It's just more shakedowns and more cleanup and more and more folks getting given.
Did you know in other countries
they
paint the cop car? They don't just paint the cop cars differently. They paint them kind of gaudy and bright so that you can't fucking miss them.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, I saw one yesterday that looked like a golf cart, like a black golf cart that happened to have it didn't have lights on top, but it had the lights were like hidden.
Oh man, I wish it had a little woo.
Right. Yeah.
The one that they used to put on top, like the detectives used to put on top.
Yeah. Just like the little magnet one, right? Yeah. No, this one had no lights on top, just like the lights were built into the tail lights, and they had just pulled over to harass, someone who I don't know if they were doing anything wrong at all other than being brown or homeless on the street, but that's pretty much what they were looking like they were doing. And all they were doing was causing a traffic jam and shaking down.
God, I can't imagine during a protest
if
they flip over that golf cart, like San Jose will like have a picture of it, golf cart all flipped onto its side. It's like, we will rebuild.
On fire. Oh, the humanity. Anyway, well, that's the winners and losers for this week, where, as usual, there are no winners, mostly losers, unless
we weren't even rooting for anybody this time.
Yeah, not at all. So
except for the people, I am rooting for the people that took the train ticket and then came right back to San Francisco.
Good for them.
They got to see the world.
Yeah, you got a little travel out of it, and I'm serious, man. Like ICE is offering $50,000 signing bonuses, and they don't really seem to have.
You
much
don't get
of
that for 5 years
screening process. So
you get that. You have to be like 5 years invested, then you get the 50.
Oh, that's bullshit. I thought the good wife and I were like, man, we'll pay for our home renovation, just sign up for ICE and then quit. But that's oh well. Anyway, so we're gonna go on to get your shit together, and as usual, it's Bart.
Yeah, like that's so crazy. That's something so fucked up, because I think they did a couple things I don't like. Before we start, first, I don't like the new cars. Everything's clean, but the problem is the new cars. Like, I don't know, when you were on like old Bart cars, do you remember when it was just fucking rows of seats? You could just like fit like 150 people in each little section. Now it's all split off, and there's maybe like 35 fucking seats in each fucking car.
It's like COVID cars almost, right? Like, and who knows? Maybe they're just trying to get a better look because their ridership is down and they want to look more full. I don't know.
Right? People had to stand up today, and it's like, well, that's good because there's no fucking seats anymore.
Right. But there's been some issues lately with some shutdowns, breakdowns, technological gaffes, and Bart did their own internal report to tell us what went wrong, and we're going to learn more about it from NBC.
Over the past few months, BART riders have had to deal with 9 major service disruptions. A report about the causes is the center of a board of directors meeting later this morning. Today in the Bay's Ginger Conaharo-Saab, live for us at the Daly City BART station. And Ginger, I know you spoke with BART's general manager earlier this week. Did he speak about this report at all?
Yeah, not in detail, Marcus, but he did mention that they will be front and center at today's board meeting. Now, the findings from this investigation may shed more light as to what happened with those service disruptions, but they don't change the bottom line for the transit agency, and I'll have more on that in a bit. But those 9 service disruptions that you mentioned, you can see them there. They date back to last August up until December. Disruptions affecting San Francisco stations from Civic Center to the West.
Wait, they have August 29th. Did BART break down twice on August 29th, like during the morning commute and during the evening commute?
So really impacting riders making the Trans Bay commute. Now, issues included smoke in the Trans Bay tube, sparks on the tracks, and insulator issues. The report does not include specifics on a September 20th disruption, but they do include common causes for the others. The investigation tested several hypotheses to get to the root cause, including changes to the traction power system, environmental factors, human or external factors, and design specifications. So despite these recent interruptions, BART is making a case to their board and the public that they are making progress. Here is BART's general manager, Bob Powers, several days ago.
Reliability, right now we're going to be going to the board on our on-time performance. You know, we're highest right now than we've been probably in the last 10 years. And so that...
This guy looks high. He's been high for 10
he needs a haircut.
This guy looks like some fucking Hollywood director that you hope that your fucking sister doesn't have to go to a fucking casting call for. Jesus Christ.
Can you do that line a little slower, please?
Doesn't excuse us from our service challenges that we've had in the past. And I think we've got our arms around that right now. We're taking an item to the board because no disruption is we got to try to eliminate those.
So, Marcus, 2026 is a pivotal year for BART. They are up for a ballot measure, the transit agency, as it will be up to voters to decide whether a transit sales tax will bail BART out of its financial woes. Of course, if it doesn't do so, it will have huge consequences for riders across the Bay Area. So definitely this is something to continue to watch out for. We're live at Daly City BART. Ginger Conejero Saab, today in the Bay.
Yeah, they fucked up so bad with BART, like just from the jump. Like they should have just built it with like off the shelf fucking parts.
That would be great. Yeah, it's a proprietary track system, right? You need to specially design cars, specially designed rail system. They didn't fight hard enough and just try to get it wrap around the whole Bay, right? San Mateo County, Santa Clara County rejected it at the polls and left it with this sort of half-assed hybrid system that was probably destined to fail long term. And now they're trying to save it by coming into Silicon Valley, but they're never going to create like a really unified transit system. It's just another grafting of public transit in a place that's not built for it.
Is it too late to just start dismantling it and putting in regular tracks and turning it into fucking just extending Caltrain?
I think, unfortunately, yes, for a lot of reasons. I mean, it would cost so much more anyway, and they shouldn't have the money to keep it going the way it functions now. Tearing it up and rebuilding would be just next to impossible. But yeah, that would have been an idea in the first place. It's just using off the shelf, using standard technology, standard grade, and creating a cohesive Bay Area wide system. Like friends come here from DC or Chicago or New York or places.
They're like, what do you mean I have to get
Atlanta.
off of? What do you mean I have to take two different transit systems to get to your house?
Right, like hopping one subway train to another is not uncommon, right? In New York, it's how you get around. You hop from one train to another, but hopping two completely different systems, right, is unheard of, and just would make my friends' heads spin, right? So,
right, if they fly into Oakland and they go around and want to take Caltrain down to Dearborn and then fucking walk to your place, essentially, I think, which you wouldn't make them do, but they theoretically could. It would be totally confusing for people who aren't from around here.
Completely, and we benefit. We're on an express bus line or nearby enough to one, but that's still like three systems, right? To get to from my house to your house, actually, it would take like three different systems for me to get there. So that's the biggest problem. And even when LA has a more cohesive,
LA's killing it now.
Right. If they're doing better than you are, then you're fucked.
LA,
you're truly fucked.
I've been reading about it. Like they got destroyed essentially by the automotive industry at one point, and they've been fucking speed running. They're building. I think they're building track faster than any metro in the world right now.
Correct. I was able to get around pretty well last time I was in LA. I went to a series of shows at the Bowl, right? And I wasn't staying anywhere near the Hollywood Bowl, but I was able to get around just fine in LA. And so if LA is outdoing you for public transit, you're really fucked. Like that's just the way it is. Like LA was the city built for the car. Like there was never any vision of public transit there. And now they're doing better than the Bay.
I think in San Francisco and basically San Francisco and then just down the peninsula, maybe to Millbrae and then across the Bay to Oakland and to Berkeley, I think the transit's fine.
Yeah, sure. In places, in certain places, and getting around San Francisco, as you know, with Muni, is and the bus system is pretty solid, right? It's not that hard to get around.
And Oakland, the buses here are great. I was concerned, but the buses here are great. The bus drivers are all super nice too. They're like, hi. They're like, oh, your Clipper card isn't working. That's great. Go sit down. There's people behind you in line.
But there's an absolute reason why we don't have a more cohesive and coherent transit system in the Bay, and that's because folks in San Mateo County and the Peninsula and South Bay just didn't want black people coming to their community on a train.
Fucking people. They were calling BART Mobile Oakland. They were calling it that. They were calling it that. It's gross. It's gross.
Right. Well, maybe all we had to do was just give them a train ticket back to Oakland, right? Free tickets. That's the solution right there. Like they're obviously coming here because they just wanted to, take a ride on a train. But that trope is exactly why people in my parents' generation rejected, BART to Santa Clara County in the first place. And we could have had a better system. Like if you looked at the original maps, it would have been this nice wraparound cohesive system. And
it extended out. It extended out pretty far. I would
correct.
It was not. I would say it was like a regional. It went out.
Correct.
How far did it go? All the way out to fucking Modesto or something in the original. It went out far. It went east pretty far.
The vision was for that, and now the vision with
Tracy, I think it went out too.
Yeah, and the vision with high-speed rail is the same, but it comes down to the same thing again. Like no one, people just want to make it easier for brown and black people to get around and to come to their community, and that's really what it comes down to. The political will was not there to support the system and to tell these people to fuck off. And we're going to build it no matter what because we need to do this. We need to be a sustainable society. We need to have this kind of a system.
Also, I think like high-speed rail, they could have like really, again, just used existing tracks and just upgraded the trains and made the trains much faster.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. But
they never did that. Like the trains are like, they're like chugga choo-choo and shit. And you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and you've also got a situation like here where BART, Caltrain, all these different agencies, right, run these, and public agencies with elected officials, right, run these systems, and no one's willing to cede power or control over their little corner of the world. No one's willing to cease being honorable. Everyone just wants to be able to get invited to parties and be an elected official or be on the board of something, right? It doesn't really matter if they're actually doing anything, right? And most people who are on the BART board probably don't know shit about running a train system in the first place. They were just the ones who got elected. So speaking of which, we're gonna go down ballot because I know we got to move on, but surprising story from KPIX Bay Area. Young people are interested in politics, and we're going to find out more.
Great. Maybe our channel will start growing.
With all that in mind, a new Gallup poll found that 45% of U.S. adults self-identify as political independents. That's an all-time high. And it's younger voters driving this shift. That same poll showed more than half of millennial and Gen Z voters consider themselves independent. Our Lauren Tom spoke with some political organizers in San Francisco to see how younger voices are already pushing for changes across the political landscape.
A generational shift is underway both inside and outside the halls of government. Younger voters aren't just waiting their turn, they're stepping forward to lead.
We're hearing again and again from younger people that they just don't fit the realities of what our younger, generations are facing. I would call myself a zillennial, but I just turned 31.
I am very Gen Z. I just turned 21 a couple weeks ago.
Separated by a decade in age, millennial Ruth Ferguson and Gen Z organizer Adriana Zhang are united by the same question: who gets a real chance to shape the future of their city?
San Francisco should care about opening the door to new voices, new leaders, and change.
They both entered politics young, serving on youth commissions in their home counties, showing them how decisions are made and who is often missing from the table.
We feel like there's just such a unique appetite, particularly right now, given everything that's happening in the federal government, Zohran Mamdani's win in New York. There's just a new sense of energy. I think that didn't exist before, and I think is really rare.
That energy mirrors a new millennial majority on San Francisco's Board of Supervisors, where 6 of the 11 members are millennials, aged 29 to 44. New legislation coming from Supervisor Bilal Mahmood aims to encourage new leadership by closing a term limit loophole for elected city positions, capping it at 2 terms.
Why we're interested in closing it is to just encourage more of that, more collaboration, intergenerational relationships, even in politics, because that's how we will create a more just society for everyone.
The push comes as younger leaders are surging nationwide. According to Future Caucus, the U.S. saw a 170% increase in Gen Z lawmakers taking office this year. And here in San Francisco, Ruth says the makeup of City Hall doesn't often match the demographics of the city.
We've had 6.5% of all supervisors in 175 years of San Francisco government are women. Only 2 women mayors. The average age for the Board of Supervisors and for mayor is around 50 when they enter office. It makes me feel like we are on the precipice of something really important, and there's momentum that we're building, and we have to make sure that we maintain that momentum and we keep reaching new voters.
The pair says they're optimistic about the pendulum swinging younger, on the brink of a midterm election cycle that could bring new voices and new representation.
Of course, the simplest way to influence politics is at the ballot box. A Tufts University study found just 42% of young voters ages 18 to 29 cast a vote in 2024.
So wait, so that's of those that registered, only 42% voted.
Correct. Yeah, eligible voters. And then, I mean, and there's a substantial chunk that aren't even registered, right? Although we make it, again, really easy to register to vote. We make it really easy to vote, but there's just a substantial chunk that still aren't even registered to vote.
Like in California, you do anything at the DMV and they're bothering you to register to vote.
I just renewed my license and I'm already registered. And they're like, "You want to re-register?" And I'm like, "Well, sure, but I don't need to." And they're like, "Oh, here, answer all these questions." It's like, Jesus fucking Christ!
Like, no,
I'm already registered. I vote every time. But yeah, about depending on where you're at, about half the people, half the residents, half the eligible people who are eligible to register are not registered, and then about half of the people who are registered vote on a regular basis, averaged out. So really, it's a really small subset of people that are actually quote unquote electing our leaders. So it's great to see that they're identifying more independent. They're being more thoughtful. They're trying to think more outside the box. But are they actually voting? Are they actually putting their money where their mouth is? Yeah. Well, Ruth actually just got appointed by Mayor Ed 210 to serve on the City College Board of San Francisco. So she's actually she's now an elected official herself. But I did enjoy the interview style of we're just going to walk around the Civic Center Plaza. They're not actually going anywhere. They're sort of wandering around Civic Center Plaza aimlessly.
Right. If they looked a different way, the mayor would want them removed from Civic Center Plaza just for wandering around. What are you doing here?
Correct. But yeah, not to begrudge either of them, and not to begrudge young people either getting involved. We absolutely encourage that, and we encourage, if you are a young listener or viewer of our this little show here.
By young, we mean under 30.
Right, share younger than us. Share with your friends, and please, make a point to, like producer Dave said earlier, fucking vote. Even if I don't care how you feel about it. If you know something about something, vote, because right now it's the lowest common denominator that are making the decisions for us. People who are swayed by mailers, people who are swayed by TV ads and internet ads and tropes and memes. But it's not the people who these young people who are more engaged and know a little bit more about what's going on and can see through a lot of this shit. They're the ones that need to vote, because right now the olds are not getting it done, as evidenced by who's in charge in our country, who's in charge in our cities. So if that'll change that dynamic, I'm all fucking for it. But they just have to step up and actually vote when it comes down to it. And it's just not, as the numbers show, it's just not happening. So more people are engaged, but they're not voting. It's not translating into votes. And that's really where we live in a democracy. We live in a representative democracy. If you're not voting, then you're just talking at this point. So,
and just real quick, shout out to the local news for running a story about young people that wasn't a wah young white men are turning into conservatives because no one will fuck them story. I'm so tired of that story. We're failing the men, the more the women are graduating college. I'm so tired of that fucking, you know what the fucking, it's all over the fucking place. I'm so glad they ran a story about young people and included women and didn't mention also, did you know that these women turn down fucking 70% of the people that swipe right on them on Tinder, and we really need to do something about that so that the fucking white men will be less angry at everybody and maybe not do a school shooting. Thanks.
100%. And they raised both of the organizers raised a good point. Women are predominantly carved out of leadership roles and have had real struggle getting elected and serving in office. And yet studies have shown that when women lead, when women are the majority on a council or any kind of legislative body, more shit gets done faster and more compassionate, progressive, people-centered policies get passed. Maybe you call it the motherly instinct, you can call it whatever you want. Right. You can call it whatever you want, but that's the facts, right? And yet, even in the city of San Jose right now, what do we have? About 2 female council members out of 11.
To be fair, you are talking about Man Jose.
3 out of 11.
Women don't go out in San Jose because fucking dudes in San Jose don't know how to fucking treat women.
I thought it was Tan Jose. Maybe, you're right. It is Man Jose.
It used to be Tan Jose when the women would go out.
Right. Well, we did have the first female mayor of a major American city in San Jose, Janet Gray Hayes, back in the 70s. It was the feminist capital of the world. There was a majority of women on the council, but it's just not really been the case in a lot of areas. And I think we could do with more women in office. We couldn't do much worse than all the fucking white men. I can tell you that much. So anyway, that's Down Ballot. It's a short one for this week because we really let in with Down Ballot in the gubernatorial race, but we'll have more on Mayor Ed 209's travails next week. Maybe we'll get a couple clips from that debate. there'll be some more debate action we can cut into there. But yeah,
I want to see Eric swallows well. I keep calling him that because I'm doing Dambadandi.
I'm sorry, I'm not helping by rehashing that.
But
over
I want
and
to
over
see
again. But
I want to see him go after Matt Mahan because he's the only one I think that is like willing to like take a swipe at somebody like Mahan.
I would hope so, but we'll see. We'll see. He's also just playing it safe and just talking about Trump and not really talking about policy either. He even said like, "Oh, the reason I couldn't be at the debate is because I had to be in D.C. to vote against the ICE funding, right?" And Trump. So he's taking the easy route.
Actually,
not really talking about the issues.
That's reasonable though, right? He's like, I have to vote.
Yeah.
On this thing.
Well, it's his job. It's
very important.
Yeah, it's his fucking job, right? And he's made it. And he's he was on the impeachment task force or whatever, right? And it's completely on brand for him. I don't know what the fuck Katie Porter
also
was doing.
just
She's
like
no
him
longer in
because
Congress.
Donald Trump and Dan Bidandi both hate him.
That's always a good thing, right? And he's a local guy, when it comes down to it. So he's
San
from
Ramon
the Bay,
kind of area, right? Like Pleasanton.
Yeah, from the Bay and came up here. So we'll see what happens. But I'm looking forward to the next debate when everyone's there. I have no idea what Katie Porter was doing. She had nothing else to do, as far as I know. She doesn't have a job.
She was busy yelling at somebody.
Busy throwing a chair at a staffer, probably. But anyway, we're gonna run into another thing here, and it's cookies.
Fuck yeah!
That's all I can say. Fucking artisanal cookies.
New at 6, a small business in San Francisco is using a pretty unique way to protest the immigration surge in the Twin Cities. Devil's Teeth Bakery is selling anti-ice cookies, and the owner says the proceeds will go to an advocacy group in Minnesota. KTVU's Crystal Bailey joins us tonight in studio after swinging by the bakery. Crystal.
Yeah, it's only been a couple of days so far, but the small business owner says she sold out of the cookies every day this week within the first couple of hours of opening. That's at 3 different locations, and she says this is her way to use her platform.
Tastes like democracy.
They're not just ordinary shortbread cookies. They're sweets that come with a strong message.
Our most popular ones are the conversation hearts that say F ice.
Devil's Teeth Bakery started selling the anti-ice cookies at her 3 shops this week after the events in Minnesota over the weekend.
I don't think people should be murdered in broad daylight. I don't think that these anti-immigration sweeps should be happening. I just think it's all pretty terrible.
She says proceeds go to the Minnesota Community Action Network, a group of over 1,000 anti-poverty advocacy groups with programs for housing and food security.
Two people. I only have 1 component.
And they're
Oh my God, they have beignets. Did you see on the sign they have beignets?
Oh yeah, for sure. The anti-ice beignets.
The shop announced the
This is that fucking artisan cupcake shop where the homeless people used to take a shit in front of.
Happy.
Oh, absolutely.
I know exactly where this is.
Say, hey, you are
Is it Potrero or is it
harming the
Castro?
Yeah.
Well, they have 3, so that this looks
Okay.
like the one at like in the Castro, not like on Castro, but in the Castro.
Yeah, in the neighborhood.
It will bring me back just that much more to this business.
The staff at the location on Noriega says they sold out within an hour of opening Tuesday, and the
I think that might be the one in the is Noriega in the Castro?
Yeah, ish.
Great to see that everyone's coming together.
And while some folks protest with signs, this mom and pop protests with cookies.
It's important to my community. It's important that I show my kids that
little cookie's $4.50. Yeah, this is the cup. This is the artisan cupcake shop.
Stand up for what you believe in.
It's a team effort. The store manager got the idea from a bakery in Eugene, Oregon, and the head baker is making all of them by hand.
The first thing she said was that her hands were very cramped and sore from writing the F word hundreds of times last night.
Despite mostly positive feedback, the bakery saw some backlash online, with some comments reading, "How totally ignorant," and "ICE is doing the job that the law requires."
Why are the dumbest people on Facebook? Why are the dumbest people on Facebook now on the news?
It's just easy to find. Easy to find them.
Allowed to have their opinions, and I'm allowed to have mine.
And right now, there are no plans to stop making the cookies. They sold about 300 a day for $3.50 a pop, so donating about $1,000 per day. Crystal Bailey, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Oh, the gluten-free one was $4.50. The beignets looked like they were only 50 cents each.
There you go. I mean, that might be the more economical deal, and maybe it doesn't get poop on it. Who knows? But yeah, watch out for the poop as you're walking in.
That's cute. $1,000 a day isn't that much, but that's probably tough going. Like the lease on like in the Castro, and you're just selling cookies and coffee. Oh God.
Well, if you're selling for donation too, like that's cutting into your bottom line. If those are handmade, that's cutting a lot of time out of your workflow, and you're not giving them away, but you're donating the proceeds. Like, you got to get something out of that, honestly. Like, and take advantage.
Maybe they're donating the proceed from the cookie, but if you buy a latte, you know what I'm saying?
Sure, absolutely.
It's good. I mean, it's one of those. Ideally, it's one of those good for
out.
everybody things, right? You go in and if you order a pizza and you give this code, we'll give $3 to whatever. But then because you order the pizza, you got to order drinks for your kids, and your fucking homeboy wants a salad, and somebody wants some goddamn fucking wings, and
you're there. Like, it's the reason I get a coupon in the email for the free guac at whatever Chipotle, right? Like they can give you the free guac because you're going in to buy a burrito to put the guac on. So absolutely. You get a cookie, you got to have a cup of coffee. So
my God,
you're gonna buy something else.
You live in San Jose though. You don't go to Chipotle, right? You go to a proper place, right?
I don't have to. The Good Wife just happens to enjoy it. I prefer to and tend to go to just the taco truck, that's
just whatever taqueria you see on whatever street you're on when you're on your way somewhere and you're
completely hungry. There's so many good ones. It's not that hard. You can trip and fall into a fantastic taqueria in San Jose.
The really good taquerias here are all on International.
There you go. Well,
people are like, that's a scary neighborhood, and I'm like, shut up.
And come on down here first, right? Come on down here first. Well, these are great tips. We're getting food tips here on Down Ballot too. So you get a little bit of everything on this show. That's probably why it is the 69th best podcast in California.
And that's why it goes. That's why it always goes. The show's about an hour.
Right. Hey, do you want to give a shout out to the millionaires or the billionaires march?
Yeah, real quick before we get out of here, I'm thinking about going to this. Actually, this is tomorrow.
Nice.
Going to this.
Meet in Pacific Heights in San Francisco. Perfect. March down Fillmore.
I'm not going. I'm not. I'm going to 12:30 p.m. rally at Civic Center.
So speeches and celebration. Speeches and celebration. That looks pretty fun. So I guess Peter Thiel's on the docket for that one.
I thought this was a joke.
It looks real, unless it's some sort of really amazing satire.
If this is it. Vilifying billionaires is popular. Losing is expensive. Building not to. Oh no, the billionaires don't steal from you.
Oh, look at Jeff Bezos did some great stuff. He built a store where you can get nearly anything delivered to your doorstep tomorrow. Larry and Sergey made the world's information accessible to everyone for free. Roger Federer won 20 Grand Slam tennis titles and inspired a generation of players. Taylor Swift is a billionaire. Did you know that? But she's also pretty sure endorsing a lot of progressive. She endorsed Zoran Mandami, I think I want to say. They're just appropriating their names for their own benefit.
These people aren't there, right? They're, Taylor Swift was playing at this.
They're not speakers. They're not.
They're just examples. They're examples of billionaires. And nobody should have $1 billion, but Taylor Swift, she
also gives she's known for giving hundreds of millions of dollars to the community she plays in and to supporting her crew, and her team.
The other thing is she's like an artist. It's very different than any of these other people.
Correct. The way she's made her money, right? And she did come from nothing. She wasn't, she didn't. And then there's sell people data to make it happen.
There's this Hamdi, the Chobani yogurt guy. The problem with this guy is, he said he was going to fucking fix Anchor Steam Brewery and then didn't do it. Fuck him.
Yeah. So
anyway,
let me know if you hit it up and see what that march is all about.
If I do, I'll take picture. I'm gonna even live stream it.
I'll be busy at a play date with the Bad Baby and going to the farmer's market to get some artisanal garlic spread. So you can tell me how this goes.
Well, great.
Anyway,
you feel like reading the show out?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks, listener and viewer, for braving with us this week and joining us on our old stomping grounds of Friday night. We'll be back next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, unless we're not. But we really hope you'll join us then. Please stay tuned for Conspiracy Bango, so we can make fun of the mouth breathers. Make sure that you're wearing your mask and you're getting your vaccinations. It's still flu and COVID season, so do that. But pants are completely optional because that's this kind of show. We're going to leave you with some audible smoke signal as usual. We hope you have a wonderful weekend and stay tuned for all the insanity that's yet to come in the governor's race. Peace out.
ballin'. Dress up real nice for the ladies at the bar, and I'm driving in my car just to get to where they are. Here at the local scene is where I plant my feet. It's where I smoke my cigarette and I hold my drink. I look at all my friends, they're all blazing greens. Here at the front of the stage, waiting for MTV. Where are those guys who's standing next to me with a pipe in his hand, ready to blaze for me? About 5 minutes later, we're all singing Queen. Now get the fuck up on stage, man, rock the scene. Yeah, we do what we want, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. We do what we want, what we wanna do, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. Enjoy that band. I turn and head back to the bar for a refill, man, because you know where we are. We're headed out to the car to smoke another one and another one. Now just when the magic starts kicking in, I hear relapse playing, you know it's time to head in. Alright everybody, now it's time to grab a new drink. Spark it if you got it and then pass it to me. Yeah, we do what we want, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. We do what we want, what we wanna do, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. Enjoy that band. Last up on the bill for the show tonight is Down and Dirty at 5, so we're headed outside to spark up another joint. Now who's got my lighter? Stoner E, of course, shouldn't you be inside?
I'm all up in this bitch, being who I gotta be. I'm fucked up like the U.S. economy. The truth is that I don't think logically. Stoner E take you on a psychedelic odyssey. Now inside motherfuckers is rockin' me, and outside shit we smoke a lot of broccoli. Rocky the roller, yo, that sexy girl be jockin' me. Ain't too drunk to fuck, but I'll probably do it sloppily.
We do what we want, what we wanna do, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. Enjoy the band, enjoy the band. We do what we want, what we wanna do, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band.
Molly say that he like jamming, and he hope he like jamming too. Well, I gotta say, thank you, Bob, we do. Yes, I gotta say, thank you, Bob, we do. Well, Bob Marley said that he like jamming, and he hope we like jamming too. Well, I gotta say, thank you, Bob, we do. Yes, I gotta say, thank you, Bob, we do. Yeah,
we do what we want, and what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. We do what we want, and what we wanna do, what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. Enjoy that band. We do what we want, what we wanna do, what we want is to jam. So sit back and enjoy the band. Enjoy that band. We do what we want, and what we want is to jam. So sit back.